Hi, I'm AP Thomas, and I'm here to give you the lowdown on the first novel in the White Knight Detective series, The Silent Parade. Um, Whenever I write something, I really need a hook. I really need something that will give me a real impetus to get into the story. So when I found the real Silent Parade that happened in 1917, it was something that was incredibly moving. There was a power to the dignified silence of thousands of people, and the images of children dressed in white and walking along those streets in New York really just echoed down the centuries, and it touched me and gave me a feeling for an event that was over 100 years old but still felt so important. So that was the hub of where the novel began. It's also a novel about a very difficult time in American history. It's a novel about violence. It's a novel about racial subjugation. It's a novel about industrial dispute. And all of those things really turned themselves into a melting pot in New York that meant crime and tension and murder were never that far away. There was a gang war going on between the Five Point slums and the Bowery Boys. The industrial dispute between dock workers, African Americans, Irish, Italian, it's all well documented, and it gave a background to the novel that really filled it with tension and violence and reached a boiling point. So in spite of that, or perhaps because of that, I felt there needed to be some light in the shade, and I felt that dealing with a murder alone, fictional of course, was not really enough. We needed to feel for the characters directly involved and surrounding that murder. I suppose like flowers pushing through the dirt to find sunshine, we have not just a love, but a first love between two very young characters whose families are incredibly different, but also in many ways living by moral codes that they feel very much attached to. And that created a different kind of tension. Um, it's a novel about communities as well. It's a novel about the Irish community, the Italian community, the community of African Americans in Harlem, and the fact that these people, while they all live in the same city, are unable to mix. It feels like oil and water, and those tensions I keep talking about kept coming back again and again and again in the novel. Family plays a big part, and the idea of blood being thicker than water, and the idea that betrayal under those circumstances is a complete no-no, and that drove the narrative in many ways across the different characters that we encounter in the novel. And White understands that. He's a New Yorker himself. He's going through his own kind of tumultuous time in his life. He's always known tumult. He's always known the importance of family because he lost his own. So when we enter the novel, he's struggling against a failing marriage, a marriage that will eventually break up and see him lose his only child. And right in the middle of that, he's drawn into a very brutal murder of a young black boy from Harlem. And it makes him even more determined and even more driven to solve this case, because it feels to White that if he can begin to offer some kind of closure to the grieving mother, then perhaps he can put right things in his own life as well, and in his own head. For all of that suffering to be aided in any way, he needs to find the killer. So he's incredibly driven to do that. Please check out my readings on the novel. in the other videos, and thank you for watching.